Thank you. Thank you. And thanks for inviting us to do this. It's a little bit wild and crazy, but it's also a fun thing to do because this is something that we absolutely enjoy doing. And so Winston has done some, maybe you have seen the little video that came out about how to make the pasta. And let me tell you, we did not leave the outtakes in for reasons. And so we may, if we've had enough to drink, we may show those later, but not on this particular network. So anyway, what I would like for you to do is to take a look at your recipe for or the ingredient list for the Saltimbocca, and just go down through there, and so that you know that you've got those ingredients close by, because it's a pretty quick event and it doesn't take much to do. I don't think I put in here, I don't have my glasses on either. You need to have some toothpicks, and you'll need to have like a mallet or I'll show you. So this type of thing.
That's to keep your husband in line.
Yes. And then after that, then it's to flatten the scallopini. And so that's one of the things that you're going to be needing at hand. And let me see what else. And set out the prosciutto, have the flour in a pie tin or something, or a pan that is easy to dredge it, and take the pieces of meat, which will be pretty thin by that point, and dredge it through there. And you might do a little salt and pepper on that going in. Winston's going to do a little bit of cranking out of he's a crank. He does cranking out of the pasta. And we do have a pot of water in the back. Now, you could go ahead and turn that on so that it is up to boiling when you need it, but it's going to be a little bit of time. Do not put any salt in the water now. We'll put it in just before we put the noodles in, or the pasta in. Okay, so how's that going?
Welcome. And today we're going to learn how to make pasta. And first we'll start out making pasta dough. You only need 2 ingredients, real simple: 3 eggs and 2 cups of flour. This is the traditional way that pasta is made, and been made for centuries. We want the eggs to be at room temperature, so we're going to let these warm up a little bit more. They're still a little cold. It's important for making the consistency of the dough so it's pliable, and that's the secret to making good pasta. Once you get the dough in good shape, you'll be rolling in the dough, and it'll be real easy. So that's what we're going to do for now. Let this set, and then we'll start making the pasta dough. Okay, now we are going to get our 2 cups of flour ready. And so we just take those, and I like to do that to make a nice even cup. And then we will sift it onto the cutting board. And I did wash it and dry it while it was, while we were in the break there. I had to wash it up after I put those eggs on there. And that's 1 cup. And then the second cup we will get. Here we go. Okay, let's see if we get enough in there. Yeah, that should do. And you're going to sift another. Sift another cup and make it a big mound there, and all sifted flour. Okay. For our next, we will, like we did in the high school project, we'll make a little volcano. And so we're going to make a little circle in the center there, where we're going to start. And I'm going to need a fork to work it in. And these are the beaten eggs. And we're going to slowly...
And you incorporate as you go.
Slowly incorporate it.
Okay, so I'm going to just show just one way of doing it, and Winston was showing another. And I just want to impress on you when you're doing this, it's just a real slow process of stirring the eggs in to the volcano and incorporating as you go along. This is it feels like it's time consuming, but it's actually helping you to incorporate the flour into the center so it doesn't go dripping off like a lava flow. So just stirring it in, continue to incorporate. Now I know we talked about that there are 3 eggs in this, and that's true. Sometimes it is dependent on the size of the eggs. If they're really large eggs, then you might only need 2. In this case, you start out with the idea of 3. So let's just keep going and keep incorporating. Can you see that the volcano hole is getting bigger, but I'm incorporating more and more of the flour into the center. Okay, I've incorporated a lot of the egg yolk and the liquid, so now I'm going to try to incorporate it more by getting it into a round ball. Set it aside a little bit. Sometimes it seems like there's more flour than you need, but keep it to the side and we'll just move through it.
Okay.
So now I think that it's gotten to almost the glossy feel, and I want you to feel what that's like, and so that you get a sense of the texture and what it feels like. And
really nice and smooth. Yeah, great job.
So that's what we're aiming for, and then before we let it rest.
I think that's great. Better than I do. We brought in the professional and took out the amateur. So make sure.
We're working together.
Exactly. So I think we got it, huh?
Okay.
Okay, so now this part is we're going to take the dough and we're going to let it rest, and then we're going to cover it with a towel and let that set for an hour, and then we'll be back. To start cranking out some pasta with the pasta machine. Okay, we're back, and now we're going to take pasta dough. It's had a nice little nap. It's been resting, and we are going to take it out of the bowl. Okay, and we're just going to knead it a couple times because we need to, and then it looks good. Just a little bit more. I think it feels pretty good. Okay, so at this point, what we do is I like to use this pasta cutter. Pastry cutter. And we'll just cut this into 4s. So I'm going to quarter it. And we'll put 3 of these back in the bowl. And we'll cover it. Okay, now it's time to make the pasta and roll it out. We're actually using this machine. It's just a manual crank machine, and first we'll just crank the pasta through and make the flat pasta. And once we've got all of that cranked flat and hung, just for storage, and then we'll put on the cutter, and we can choose the fettuccine or linguine size cutters on this. So we're going to use all of that, and it's just a manual little machine like that. Okay, so let's get to it. This is the fun part when it works. So we want to start with the pasta machine at the widest. See, this little knobs and settings on the thickness, but you want to start on the widest part. And we're going to crank it through here. And we keep folding it. This pasta dough is working very nicely here. We're going to do this about 4 or 5 times just to get the pasta dough working. Okay, if you find that the pasta is a little sticky, a little too moist, seems kind of moist, we'll put a little flour on it, and then we'll just run it through the flour, and that really helps a whole lot when you do the pasta. So we've got it on the large size. We're going to do it one more time in half. Some people do in thirds. This works pretty good on this size dough. And now that we've done it several times that way, we are going to start running it down to make it thinner. And then we're just going to keep cranking it out, reducing the size on every turn. And we just keep doing that. Okay, we're back. We've rolled out the pasta. Some of it's longer than others, so you do it to taste. Also, some of the balls, as we cut them, they weren't all the same size. Some were a little large, so we cut them in half. So, at this point, we actually make the fettuccine. So what we've done is we've added the fettuccine cutter onto this. And what we're going to do at this point is just run it through the cutter, just like we did the other earlier. And we feed it in, and it will just cut the pasta. So we're going to go that way with it. And once we get the feed starting, it will be wonderful. Here we go. With my beautiful assistant. Okay. And then we just hang that up on the rack. Perfect. And we'll do one more just for
Grins.
Just for grins. Okay, we'll start this long one for those who like long pasta. So get that fed in there. And we're just cutting it into fettuccine noodles. I gotta get my hand up here. I'm going to get some little ones at the end, little pieces, but decide which ones you want to add to the pot. So that's the process of cutting the fettuccine. We'll finish up doing the rest of these. And then one last thing, when you actually go to make the pasta, it's only 2 to 3 minutes, tops. Fresh pasta doesn't cook 5, 10, 15 minutes. You put it in for a couple of minutes, it's perfect. And just keep tasting it, testing it. Somewhere between 2 and 3 minutes, it should be perfect. And you don't have to wait for this to dry, to get hard. You could, if we were ready now, we could just throw it in the pot, but we'll leave it here. Tonight we're making a special dish, and we'll just throw this into the pasta water and cook it for a couple of minutes as part of the meal. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed making pasta with Carole and Winston. Okay.
Oh, you got the old-fashioned machine.
Yeah. So this is,
I can see their window, easy.
Yeah. So I just left a couple of, a little bit done. I've cranked out 3/4 of it. I took that pasta dough and cut it in quarters, but I still think that's too big. So I take the quarters and cut them in 8s, just like that. And it's always, where's that flour? Thank you. It's always good to have a little flour. If it gets a little sticky, a little flour is really just kind of helps you through it. So you put the pasta machine at the high level, the widest opening, and you start just taking a little piece of pasta and this is the fun part. Kids come over, grandkids soon. We're going to have our kids and our grandkids being able to visit. This is the fun thing to do with them. The kids love to do this, and just crank it out. And it's like magic. The whole idea is to get it. I like to get it at a thickness that you're comfortable with. And then we can just continue to crank. But what we do is we just go down and you get the water on.
And then it's cut with a knife.
Okay. And just keep cranking it. And each time I go down, it gets thinner and thinner and thinner. And that's all there is to it. It's a lot of fun. You can make any kind of pasta with it. You could make raviolis. Get little ravioli cutters to make this roll out flat. What did we make the other day? We did tortellini.
We did tortellini with sage and butternut squash filling. That was wonderful.
And it just
that's also in the book.
Okay.
I've
got the kind that goes on the nose of the KitchenAid mixer, and it's automatic. It runs electrically, but you have to turn the thing down and down and down to make it thinner and thinner and thinner.
Right.
I think it plugs into the.
Yeah.
That looks pretty darn thin. Yeah,
and I think, is that the last one? Yeah, it's the last one. So we'll just hang this up to dry. I got one more to do in the meantime. Carole can go back and talk because I'm going to be cranking, and then I'll just run it through. In fact, I'll just do the showing the cutting just once.
Are you making tagliatelle, or what are you making? What
I'm going to make fettuccine.
Oh,
it's easy. So this cutter that I got two choices. I got the smaller, and then the larger fettuccine. Linguine and fettuccine.
Yeah.
So for this, we just put the device on the adapter.
Because my Italian is no good, I remember them as thinguini and fettuccine.
Yeah, there you go.
No. That's a British expression.
Yeah. So and so for this is pretty straightforward. You put it in if you want to come over here and help. So just grab, we can see this okay. I'm just going to crank this. Of course, if everybody's watching, it's going to come out in a mess. But
now, Carole.
Yep, it just bunched up on me. But hey, it's just pasta. So there.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
You got all this, and we put it back up here on the rack.
Yep.
Give it the rack.
Yep.
And he'll be cranking that out while I'm doing the other stuff. Okay.
And I'm going to turn this. So just nothing to it. It's a lot of fun.
Well, there is something to it. And I thought actually, as it turns out, this particular recipe shows up in 4 out of my 5 books. And it was only in this pandemic that we realized that there were some very specific kinds of information that are more helpful than I had given before. So I had all these people that were helping me to test some of these recipes, and some of you are here. And so that was a fun thing. But for when we first started doing some of the pasta, it turned out that the bag of flour that we were using had expired. Now go figure that one. We didn't realize that there was an expiration date on that. So it's really important to get the correct flour and, you know, for the product. And if you get all purpose, that's exactly what it's about.
Mhm.
All purpose can make pasta, it can make pizza, it can make bread, it can make all kinds of things. But one of the things that happened during the pandemic is that the only flour that was available in the stores was bleached and what was the other part? Bleached, enriched.
Oh.
And it was so dry that you couldn't get enough eggs into it and incorporated into it.
Mhm.
And so so we learned, and I want you to not have to go through all of that. So anyway, let's get started with the Saltimbocca.
Can I just ask one more question about the pasta? Do you let it sit for a while after it's made before you boil it? Or can you boil it right away?
You don't have to. You can boil it right away. We're leaving it for just, you know, a few minutes.
Okay.
It's kind of nice if it dries out just a little bit,
That's
but
what I
it's
thought,
not.
but
It's not mandatory.
okay.
You can do that, and also when you do cook the pasta, it's only 2 to 3 minutes.
Right.
Very careful not to overcook it, and don't put salt in the water until you're just about ready to put the noodles in, because it absorbs too much of the salt. And in this case, we have for Saltimbocca, we have enough salt. We have the seasoning that we're going to be putting in, and then we also have the prosciutto, which adds to it, and then the flavor from the sage. So you want to kind of look at this and balance it out and try to make sure that one is not overwhelming the other as far as flavors. And I did check with several different wine makers, not winemakers, merchants, and finally ended up at K&L after 3 times getting in and out of there. And I found some, so this particular recipe is for Roma. And as it turns out, there are no Roman wineries around in that very area that are something that you would write home about. So they really push you up to Piemonte and some of those other regions. And so for this particular dish of scallopini, because it's veal, but it's a very light veal, you can go with a Pinot Noir, you can go with something like that. And I think we've got, what was it? Suave for just a second. This is the Suave that we can use, and that's the white. And then we also have the red, which is, just a moment. And this was at K&L. And it's a red, but it's a very light red. And this is what it's called. And so this will pick up some of the very semblance of beef in the veal and in the prosciutto. So it's all about what your tastes are. If you like Pinot Noir, of which I do not, but I do love some of these wonderful other flavors. So it's what you want to do, and just you choose what you want. Now, at the very end of this dish, you add lemon juice. So keep that in mind when you're choosing a wine. So let's get started. So I went to Bianchini's. I call it Bianchini's, but maybe it's Bianchini. Who can tell me?
Bianchini.
And, yeah, I have no idea. So for sure, but I love that because they have wonderful meat market. And so I called ahead and ordered some of the scallopini, the veal scallopini, to be ready for me. Well, when I went in, it's over here. It was already pounded out. And so it is very, very thin. And let me show you. It's a very, very thin piece of veal cutlet. You see that? That's what you would do with when you're pounding with a mallet. But I also, because my son isn't a beef eater, but he is a chicken eater, we're going to do his, which is also called chicken scallopini, but it comes out in chicken tenders that are beatable. I can beat this sucker to the death. So anyway, we'll be doing that. And so what you need to do is take your meat, piece of meat, if you've got a thick cutlet like this, and you get a couple of pieces of saran wrap. I have this red saran wrap or cling wrap that I think I bought 4 years ago during a holiday, and I can't seem to get rid of it. Because it keeps giving back to me. It never runs out. So what you do is you take the scallopini and chicken or veal. And if you want to do pork, you can do pork also. And just put it between the two pieces of saran. You're not showing this at all. Okay, all right. We're gonna be working with this.
We'll fix it in post.
Okay, so here I have this between two pieces of saran. And what you want to do is just keep eating it until it is very, very thin. So when you're actually
Can't you run it through the pasta machine?
Good idea.
well, depends on, do you want fettuccine or no. So it's pretty thin now, and so it means the idea is to get the thickness of each one of the pieces of meat that you're preparing the same thickness so that it cooks at the same rate of time.
So is there an ideal thickness, like an 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch or a?
I would say probably about 1/8 of an inch.
Oh, okay.
Now this is a little chubby here, so we just need to. So you put that together like that, and I can do, let me do one more. Not that he's coming back. Andy was busy helping with the launching of the boat, and then he launched out of here really fast. So, you know, you can only do so much.
I know.
So this one's pretty thin too. So actually, if your meat market calls it scallopini, they've already figured out that it needs to be thin. So if you go in there and you ask for a chicken cutlet, or you ask for a veal cutlet, it's going to be thicker. So it just depends on what you've asked for. And if you want to forego this and they already have it made up, then get what they have. So there. Now, is anybody else doing this at home?
Yes,
No.
ma'am,
Robin
I
is.
am.
Okay. Is anybody out there?
We're watching, Carol. We're very impressed.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
We've called
And
DoorDash.
actually,
They'll
Carol,
be
I
picking
used
up
a
in
heavy
5 minutes.
cast iron skillet.
I'm sorry, Maureen.
Actually, I used a heavy cast iron skillet to pound out the
Oh, that's
veal.
good. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. And I could have done that with this copper pan, but it's already pretty flat. So I have this one and I have the veal, and I'm actually going to cook them together in the same pan because they are very, very small. Now I'm going to turn on the oven, and you can put a platter in the oven at low heat so that when you finish cooking, then you can just put it directly on there. Okay. All right, now I'm going to start. Oh, and now what you do is you take the scallopinis and you take a piece of prosciutto. And actually, again, I will just do the beef or the veal because he doesn't do prosciutto. I'm learning all kinds of things. So you can take a piece of prosciutto, and it's pretty thin. And if your piece of veal is small, then you can just pull it apart, or snip it apart. What's that? Okay, so I'm going to put this here. So you put the prosciutto on the top, and then you take a piece of the sage leaf, and you weave it with a toothpick.
Can we see you doing that? It's not, okay, there you go. All right. Oh, I see.
There you go. Okay. And so let me just get these done. And I'm going to go ahead and do them all with you. These are wonderful big. And
Where did you get the sage leaves?
I
They're
think
big.
I got those at Nob Hill.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the reason that I'm doing this particular book is because this was a trip that Winston and I took almost 20 years ago, but every place that we went, we were served these wonderful meals. And so I wanted to share the food or the experience of the food, mainly the people, but I got so many folks that said, we want to see the recipes. So all these recipes, there's about 19 or 20 that are in this particular book that's coming out at the end of the month on the 27th. So hey, how's it going out there?
good. We're right here.
Good, it's good.
I have colorful toothpicks. Just know that might come off on your food.
Yes, yes.
And but I couldn't find any others, so that's good enough. I don't sweat the small stuff.
I don't think it's a requirement.
Now, one of the recipes that I would love to get is they have a wonderful recipe for these sage leaves where you flash fry them,
Fry them,
and they make like potato chips. So it's wonderful with a drink. I wish we could do that. It's so noisy.
Almost done.
Mr.
Mouse,
Pasta
look in your
Maker.
kitchen.
Gosh, what is that? Oh, I need this. So how are you doing? Are you doing okay out there?
Yep,
Yep.
riveted.
Larry and Robin, did you disappear?
They're hard at work.
Okay.
I'm a bit behind. It's Pauline, but hi, everybody. I'll catch up.
Okay. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, welcome. Hi, everyone.
Okay.
Pauline.
Hi, Pauline.
We're going.
Carol, do you do just one?
I've got my
sage
wine.
leaf?
That's enough.
For those of you joining the call just now, just so you know, this session is being recorded.
Sadly.
Carol,
that's
do
true.
you do
Yes.
just one sage leaf per fillet?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I think she said read it. Okay, here you go.
So you just put your
Look.
toothpick in there and then pull it back out like that.
Through everything, not just through.
Yeah,
We're not gonna do this last piece. We'll just do this much pasta.
that's fine. That's perfect.
So a concerned cook has contacted me and asked, are the instructions going to be in the Buzz on Monday?
Yes, I can send that right away.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or you can wait till April 27th and get the book.
You want to show them the book?
Yeah.
I will let concerned cook of Redwood City know.
So this is the book. Carol's got it, and this is it's a travel story of Carol and I.
Mhm.
She was I'm going to tell the story. She was a family therapist and decided, she wanted to take a break, and I said, okay, great, let's take a trip to Italy for a month. So we traveled Italy for the entire month of September, and this is a story, and it's everything from wonderful food, wonderful wines, and great underwear.
Losing your underwear
in Milan. And if you're going to lose your underwear someplace, that's the place to do
Lose
it.
it in Milan. Yeah.
Yeah, if they got some great stuff there, I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it's a fun book, and it's just her and I.
Right.
And I have to say, when I read the book, I kind of went, oh, did I really act like that? Is that really? I thought I was better than that. But that's how an author does. They tell it like they see it, not like the participants want to be seen. So, yeah,
That's the rub.
that's a rub. So when I write this story, it's going to be all different. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. But she did a great job. It's really gotten great reviews. It's a fun read. And
The answer to that is you write the next book. You write the next book.
Exactly. That's the plan. But it's beautiful. And this is the third in our series. I was in the first one in the French, and the second one I wasn't there. And now I'm back, just her and I, in the third one. And Tuscany, Amalfi,
I love Tuscany.
Rome. Yeah, we spent a week in Tuscany with a big festival, and
Yeah, that was just absolutely a wonderful experience. And
yeah,
so the whole thing is about, not that I'm trying to teach you anything about Italy, but we come to it as people who have never been there before, and having the people teach us what's important and what does their culture mean, and the beauty of it all. And it was a wonderful, fun time. And I've gotten some incredible reviews, and mostly they say it's like I've taken them by the hand and led them through this tour or this trip. And that was my goal, because I wanted people to feel comfortable and like they were going along, especially during a pandemic. You don't get to travel. So here you do in this manner. So I can't believe it. I'm coming right out exactly even.
you meant to do that, huh?
My gosh, that is just amazing. So, oh, there's one more. Oh, we can't. Do you want to take that out?
I'll take that.
Carol,
Yeah.
may I ask a question? What is the temperature on the oven, please? I missed
Oh,
that.
I just have it on low, 170.
Okay, And
All
then-
you're doing is I put a platter in there earlier. And so it's just, so when you're going to saute the meat, and it goes, because it's so thin, it goes really fast. And then you just put it off into that platter, and then we'll make the sauce that will go over the pasta. And in the meantime, we'll also be cooking the pasta.
What's the name of the cookbook?
Oh, the name of the book is called A September to Remember. And, okay.
There we go. Okay,
Yeah,
putting
it took me
in your
there.
name gets you there.
I'm not gonna have it real hot because it's
6.
so thin.
Okay.
And so I'm actually putting in a little bit more butter than, of course I always do, a little bit more butter than the recipe calls for. So just know that. And also I'm using this. It's Myers Lemon Fusion. I get the Myers Lemon olive oils at Segona's, which is just wonderful.
Yeah, put the olive oil in. Put the lemon.
So I use a lot of these flavored olive oils because they just do so much for it.
Okay, I was gonna capture
The
that.
butter, olive oil,
Not there.
and lemon.
I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
They also have really good infused olive oils at the Olive Crush on Laurel Street in
Yes.
San
Yeah,
Carlos.
She's doing the breading.
Okay.
Am I looking?
Put salt and pepper.
I need to be able to put it out of there fast. Oh, and I think it actually says to do this.
Okay.
Do it upside down. So you have the sage leaf down first.
Yep.
After you have dredged your cutlet through the flour, and I have already seasoned it a little bit. So, and you can add the seasoning now if you want.
Yes.
Yes,
So just salt and pepper?
yes, just that.
Yes,
And not heavy on the salt because of the prosciutto.
Oh, right.
Or if you have salted butter.
I'm gonna put it over here and go.
There you go. Let me see what you did. And now sage side down, right?
Sage side down.
You probably don't need to see the back of that.
Whoops. Sage side down.
Carol, is that a wok or is that an Italian pan?
It's actually French.
It's a French pan.
French copper pan that I brought back from France.
God, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
So it's kind of like a wok then, but it has I'm assuming a bottom that's wider than a wok.
No, it's not a wok.
Probably, and it doesn't, and the sides are not high.
Mm-hmm.
The sides are low.
Right, not as high. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I need to take this out and flip it.
Oh, you see me here?
What?
Okay, so now she's just flipping them.
How's that going?
The rock never gets left.
Remember what number I told you for?
Can you see this?
Yep, it's coming up.
Beautiful.
It's just kind of sizzling all the flavor right into it.
Oh, yeah, starting to go.
I just got a message. DoorDasher is waiting for your order.
I'm running out of butter.
Can we get some more?
So add, could you get some more butter out of this? So just keep adding more butter and to it. Because I think more of these little, they're called scallops. But that's just the shape of the meat. So anyway, that's what.
Here's what it looks like. Good.
Okay.
How would you like this kind of?
Just in one.
Slices, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Want little pads.
That looks fabulous.
It smells good too.
Nice. Wow.
And we're gonna have leftovers, darn.
Yeah, I think this, for some reason, seems to make a lot, but the sauce, it doesn't seem to make enough of, so you need to adjust it if you want to use the sauce on your pasta.
But you're not really very.
All in the,
Wow.
I heard a tape on.
Was I supposed to? Oh. I'm just having pepper. All right, I'll leave it.
I think this multi-camera thing was pretty good.
Yeah, but later,
put it off now, and then pop that
this
out.
one. Turn it over, turn it over. Oh. This is
Yeah,
what,
bring the other camera closer so we have the microphone closer.
Okay. She's not saying much, but I can do that. Let's see what I'll knock over.
I'm putting more of this in.
tell me when you think you're done. and
I
I'll
have-
back the plate.
Turn and face you when you talk.
Try that again.
We need television.
That's in the next Apple upgrade, I
Okay,
think.
good, good.
Just wait a second.
Maybe I'll do this chicken later. another
Okay.
time,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just wrap these and put them in the fridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since he's not even here,
He may be here someplace, but we just don't know.
it doesn't take long.
Okay.
Want me to break it in half? No. You all happy with it?
Oh, let's look at the camera and see how it's doing as you're cooking.
You know about the pasta.
Hey, do you want to put this into the
Yeah.
oven?
Don't you have it?
Do I need a spatula of some sort?
I'll just let it.
Okay, I'll do it. You good, hon?
Okay, so which wine did you want to open? Did you want to open the red one for?
Yes.
The,
Yes.
reading?
Yes.
All right, I'm just gonna wash my hands just a second.
Twist. That's good. Makes it easy. And I'm gonna get our
Now, one of the tricky wickets in this is that when it's time to prepare to serve, you're going to have to pull these toothpicks out if you can. Do your best. If not, just make your guests do that. What are they there for anyway, I think.
Them to work.
Okay, Okay, so I think I'm done, and I think we need to start doing the pasta.
Okay, and what are we gonna do? We're gonna put it in that pan when it's done?
We'll put, we'll just do a little bit of it, and
Now it's time to switch to a little red cooking wine.
Okay.
What's she doing?
Lovely.
now turn your pan down or off, take it off, because now we're going to shift gears a little bit, and it's time to put the pasta into the water. And I want to add a little bit of salt.
Okay.
You want to do that little white thing? Yeah.
And the 2 ounces.
And you had
Probably a little more than that, maybe twice that.
Probably the sauce.
Okay, so just put a little bit of salt in the water.
What? Yes.
Need to turn it up.
Okay.
What? No, just watching.
Okay.
So I now switch gears to we're getting the pasta ready to go in. And it only goes in there for 2 minutes. So in the meantime, we need to, in this pan, add a little bit more butter.
Or better.
Or a lot more butter. So this is really what's going to go on your as a
And the
sauce.
wine,
Pasta.
wine in there, Rob.
Let that boil a little bit more.
And I need you want to get the I don't know how this works.
Yeah.
There's the wine.
The
Put it in.
in the refrigerator in a
Oh, there's no heat?
Oh, you have to turn the heat on, I guess.
What did you do with the heat to this?
I turned it back up a little bit.
Yeah. A lot, looks like.
Okay, I need a little bit of white wine. Do we have white wine?
Sure.
Oh, we have Prosecco.
What is that?
I'm putting in the
Is that wine?
chicken broth and a little wine.
Remind me how much chicken broth?
Well, I have an idea.
Cup and a half or so?
Okay, you ready for me to put the pasta in?
I think so. Let me just stir this. Okay. Stir. Okay.
Your pan looks exactly like that pan.
Okay, so you want to get all of the what they call the
Fond.
fond from the bottom of the pan.
Except for all, yeah.
And
FOND.
one of those pans down for the pasta. Ready for water.
Which one would you want?
Doesn't
Or
matter.
the chitlins.
I'm going with this one. Looks like it's easier.
If you need to thicken it a little bit, you do still have some of the flour over here.
You need that plate with the flour.
Carol,
Yeah.
how much chicken broth again, please? Or do you just ballpark it?
I think it says, go read the direction there. And I think it says like, it's not much. I put in a lot more.
It was a quarter cup in the.
Quarter cup, so then you also up the wine?
I did. And the butter.
Okay. And the butter, yep.
And the butter, because I think this doesn't make enough sauce to even flavor the pasta. And what you want to do is put a little nest of pasta and then the prosciutto or the little scallopini over the top, and then put this sauce over the top of that.
Okay.
Or we could take some of the pasta and put it in here if you want to do that.
Yeah. Hey,
So
Papa,
we've been learning a different way about when you've cooked your pasta, instead of draining it and drain it back, you put it directly
You take
from
tongues.
from the water and drain it a little bit and then put it directly into the sauce and give it a chance to absorb the flavors.
Okay. You ready for me with the pasta?
I think so.
no,
Okay, here we go.
watch this.
It's a pasta time. It's the time to make it a pasta. Here we go. And I'm just going to take this on the.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
There. Go ahead.
What?
It's fine now. The host said he's going to be back.
Oh, just wait till later. You don't want to.
Now, is that all that you want to do?
No, I'm going to do all this. We're going to have.
I don't want to cook all.
Okay, then that's it.
Okay.
Okay, now we don't cook this very long.
Now, I haven't been looking at the directions or the ingredients. Hopefully, we've got everything. Yes, we've got everything, but the wedges of lemon, and that will go at the top. On the top.
Are you tasting the sauce? Are you?
Yes, I'm going to. Because you never know if it's too salty and if you
Right.
need to add something.
Right.
Pasta.
Pasta's good. I'm not,
Hey, watch what he's doing. This
See, it keeps showing this.
Oh, just say not.
is going straight into the sauce.
water and everything.
You're only seeing that.
Ooh. Ooh.
Just let it sit. Oh, no. never mind.
About a minute and a half.
Yeah.
We give another 30 seconds on them.
I need.
Now, you've added no lemon juice to the sauce, but have you always used the lemon infused olive oil every time you've added olive oil?
Not every time, just today.
Oh, no, but I mean, the several
Yes.
times, okay.
Yes, I do it. I do it a lot. And then the lemon wedges go at the very end. They don't go into the sauce.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes with the wine and lemon juice going into the sauce, it becomes too acidic.
Okay.
Mom's ready to.
Putting this in here. Yeah, put it. This in. And the pasta is going to go in the bag. Okay, so you get over there.
I can. I just love to see it boil for a minute, but it hasn't. Since I put it in.
Okay. And I'm going to take these out.
Okay.
Take the toothpicks out.
So,
So that's your job.
Just gonna test.
what you know,
So he's testing the pasta.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna. Okay, we're just gonna do it because we're hurrying up.
Okay, and let's just.
I'm gonna move this up. And, yeah, he did. He did.
he just.
Instead, take this.
Well, what happens is that sometimes you have more sauce or less sauce than you have pasta. So you have to balance it out. You have to figure it out right in the moment. But you want the pasta to be at least covered in the sauce. And it is, and it should, the sauce is also supposed to be going on. If you don't serve pasta, you can put it directly on the meat. So do you want to just put this over?
Here's
You want to drizzle some of that around?
I don't know if there's anything to drizzle. Okay. Let me put this out of the way. Is everything turned off?
It will be in a second. Voila.
Delicioso. Looks great.
Well done. Well done.
That is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Looks delicious.
Well, let's hope it is. After all this.
There's no question, Carol. It's going to be good.
got every single noodle. Amazing.
Okay.
And next week in Cooking with Carol and Interference from Winston, Carol will be making some baglioni.
What you do now?
Or I guess on the plate.
Switch over.
Yeah, so. We're-
Okay, you can.
There we go.
Yeah, sit with me on here.
Okay.
Has Bob knocked on your door yet? Because he's not on the boat yet. he was at home, and so all of a sudden I saw him disappear, and I just got the text that he's on his way. So he'll be knocking at your door at any minute.
Perfect. We'll go this way.
Winston and Carol, well done. Well
Oh,
done.
that's great
Well
fun.
done.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Well done.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice.
Bravo.
Brava.
Yeah.
Formidable.
Bravissimo, bravissimo.
Well, everybody, look at Larry's and Robin's.
Go for it on the computer.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Very nice.
Does anybody else want to show their wares?
I'm still making my pasta. Sorry.
Ah,
I'm a
that's
little
right.
behind.
Okay.
Is it okay to put cilantro on it?
Cilantro?
Cilantro?
That's all I did.
Probably not.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty.
I think that might clash with the sage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put this in the oven.
Okay.
Yes. So,
Folks, the
so we're
battery,
just gonna
the
put this
battery
in the
on my
oven.
phone is going. Battery on my phone is going as I
Oh
serve
my
this.
gosh, Maureen.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Thanks for joining us. This is lovely.
Oh,
I
thank
appreciate
you,
it.
everybody. It was great fun.
And we
Bye.
can stay on as long as you want us to stay on. We're good. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you
Look
go.
delicious.
There we go.
Good job, Maureen.
Good job, Maureen.
I'll let you know. I'm sure
Okay.
Mark will let you know.
Take care. Good luck, Maureen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bon
Thank you.
appetit.
That was fabulous.
Bon appetit.
Who else has some food to share?
Well-
Okay, well,
Time for the dishes.
that's all right. People are, it's just fine. It's just
I
fine.
Oh, what do you got there?
Potatoes.
No, what do you-
Let's have a look, Ken.
Wow.
Oh, nice, nice. Beautiful.
Enjoy.
We'll put that on. Maureen.
Kathy.
This was the chicken, so we really,
It's
This
fabulous.
looks good.
Mm.
Good.
Yeah,
It's equally as good. It's equally as good.
Looking forward to
So-
that book.
Well,
Okay.
thank you.
Yes, we just
Thank you.
pre-ordered the book.
Oh, sweet.
Good. So actually, Books Inc. in Palo Alto is handling my launch.
Oh,
Actually, this moment is my real launch, but they are doing a special event on, I think, the 24th. But they have the books that you can just order them or pre-order them from Books Inc. if you want to, instead of going to Amazon.
But if you want, if you already ordered it, Carol, glad to.
okay.
I'll
I did
have
already
it
order
explained.
it, but with cookbooks, I always order the hard copy. I like Kindle books, but with
Yeah.
cookbooks, you gotta have the actual book. So
Exactly.
I think so too, but I found people buy both and I'm shocked.
mhm.
I don't know how they are ambidextrous and holding up, both, and how do they, but anyway,
Yeah.
some people are capable. I'm not.
I prefer the hard copy.
Yeah,
You got to get Stanley Tucci to recommend your book.
exactly.
Well, we're
Exactly.
working on that.
We've watched
It's
that.
good with extra wine, by the way.
I'm sorry?
It's good with a little extra wine on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is good
Everything
with
is.
wine on it.
Yes.
You gotta get these classes up, Carol. You were awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh,
Pauline.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
was
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Pauline.
That's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
You did that. Wow.
Very
Wow.
All right.
I had to catch up a bit.
Gorgeous.
Well done, Pauline.
Wow.
Well done.
I'm gonna go serve those boys now. So cheers,
Okay.
everybody.
Cheers.
Thank you so
Thanks for
much.
joining us. Okay.
Bye.
So,
Bye, everybody.
grazie mille. It was beautiful.
It's a molto
Lovely.
bene.
Molto bene.
Yeah.
And my other Italian I know is,
Adobe.
il conto per favore.
You'll come to.
The
Oh,
check, please.
the bill.
How much?
Yes,
How much?
Right.
Dove il bagno.
And dove il bagno? It's a two things with the bathroom and il conto per favore.
So actually, we floundered through Italy.
I was good with Italian restaurant Italian. That's
Right.
about it. It's
But the thing about travel, wherever you go, if you can engage with the locals in any way, you have enriched your life right there.
Yes.
And that's what this book is about. And we were introduced to some wonderful, wonderful experiences and foods, and mostly
And great
they're
people.
all traditional kinds of foods, and this is one of them. And so I'm grateful to be able to share them with you. So
So do you have a section of the book on Northern Italy up in the Cortina area, which is, is a different culture?
well, in this book, I start out in Milan, which is not Cortona, but it's which is near that's northern. I've traveled up there into the Parma area and some of those areas.
and Torino.
And we've been to Venice,
Piedmont.
but that's not in this particular book.
Mhm.
So maybe
So
Italian
yeah,
book
there's
too.
like 5 regions. So we start out in Milan, and then we hop on a train and go all the way down to Tuscany, and spend 10 days in Tuscany at a little farmhouse.
Mhm.
And that's an escapade all in its own. And then we go take the train south again and go through Rome and down to the Amalfi Coast and spend about 4 or 5 days there, and go to Capri, the island of Capri, and go to Pompeii, and some of the normal kinds of places.
But we got
but
into
you don't-
trouble.
Yeah,
Got into
because we
trouble.
didn't know the language
Or the
we
systems. Yeah,
we
we had a good time.
and so it's follow what we did or read what we did, so you don't have to do those.
And then we went
things.
from there all the way down to the heel of the boot.
Mm.
We spent a week way down by
in Apulia.
yeah,
But it's in
Nardo
the-
and
yeah,
south
yeah.
of Brindisi, in that area.
Who would go there?
Yeah, and we
but,
did.
But the fact of the matter is, it's where a timeshare happened to be open.
And so we
So we went down there, and we learned so much.
and I had this great deal where I had a 21-day car and train pass.
So, you know, if you wanted to use a car for a week, great. And then you go traveling by train, and then you get to pick up a car where you were for 21 days. And as people said, I drove like an Italian.
Oh, no.
That's
Oh,
not
you'll
good.
have to read the book.
And then we took the train back. It was easy peasy. We took the train. There were no problems on that train, was there, hun?
Oh, my God.
And then we went back to Rome and finished up in Rome.
Yep.
And it was like that. But there's stories, adventures, and hijinks.
Yeah, and
Let me tell
things
you.
that you can avoid doing when you go.
Don't avoid it. We had a good time. Don't avoid it.
So we ended up in Rome, and this is one of the last meals that we had in Rome was the scallopini or the Saltimbocca. So that's why you are getting that tonight.
You've done a great job. You've done a great job.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Love it.
Good luck on the book.
Well
Good.
done. Well done.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Thank you,
Cheers.
Kevin, for all your hosting. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy this lovely weather. Hope you're going to get out on your boat soon.
I know.
Yes.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you.